Alright fam, so we're here at Rounders Car Club, House Club, I don't know what you want to call it, I forgot, I know, it's House or Club. Anyways, so yeah, it's March 10th, and which means it is a special day. It is my little baby girl's birthday. Happy birthday, Genesis. I love you and I miss you, and yeah, got to spend with her Friday. Kind of knew what was going to happen today, and she went with her mom. She's going to spend her birthday with her mom, but I got to spend it with her Friday. Nothing too big, but just had a good time with her. So yeah, also today is the $20 satellite to mega satellite to the Rounders Poker Masters, which is $120,000 guaranteed tournament, which is on the 24th, I think. Today is the 10th, so we have a few days to kind of play our way into it, but might as well just go ahead and try to play here. They're guaranteeing 10 seats, so we're hopefully get one of those seats. But yeah, happy with my game, happy with what's going on with it. Really kind of loving focusing on the basics. If I can go back and review the hands and you know mathematically put it together, then I'm fine with that. And they get it on the river, you know, if I have a cold deck, you know, so be it, just as long as I can make the right decisions. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, happy with my game, happy with refocusing on it. Been studying a little bit more. So yeah, so the tournament starts at 2 and right now it's 1:50, so a little early, not early, but a little bit early. But yeah, so happy with my game. Been studying a little bit more. Before I came over here, did a little pre-game warm-up. Just studying, focusing on my ranges, focusing on my call ranges as well, and really trying to zone in on those and make good decisions post-flop. But other than that, let's see what happens. Let's go. Alright, so we're a few levels into the tournament at this time. It's 200, 400. We're 10-handed this time. I'm in the small blind, and under gun leads out for just a min raise 800. There's 3 callers. I look down in the small blind with Queen 7 offsuit. I'm getting a good price just to call 600 more. I like to just call just to see what happens on the flop. The big blind goes ahead and makes a call, and we're 6 ways to a flop of King 10-7 with 2 diamonds. I check, big blind checks, under the gun C bets to 1,000. Folds around to me, and I'll go ahead and make the call, having flopped a pair and some backdoor potentials. Big blind folds, and we're heads up to a turn with an offsuit jack. I check, and the big blind bets again for 5,000 this time. Haven't picked up an open and a straight draw. I'm not really gonna go anywhere. I'm short stacked at this time. I'm only have 7,200 left. Instead of shoving, I still just decide just to call. I just want to see what's gonna happen on the river, and that's what I do. I just call the 5,000, and we're again heads up to a river, which is the 9 of diamonds. We get there, fam. I just go ahead and shove my 2,200 in, and surprisingly, he tanks for a little bit. He actually tanks for a good, minute or two. And he just kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes ahead and call. We flipped over a hand and we're good. We take it down. He doesn't show his hand, so I don't know what he had, but overall, still played well. And we collected a good stack. All right, so a few hands later, plus a bigger stack. The blinds are still 200, 400. And I look down in the low jack with pocket jacks. Pretty good premium hand, I should say. Under gun raises it to 1,400. The player 2's left calls. I don't want to just limp in and just call. I want to charge the King X, Ace X, Queen X hands. So I'll go ahead and bump it up to 5,000. The player to my left, however, shoves for less. He has something like 2,800. Folds around back to under the gun, who tanks for a while. Looks like he has a hard decision, actually. This player is a good player. He actually plays really solidly, real kind of methodical and everything like that. And eventually he decides on the fold. The player two's left folds, and we're off to the races. Against 6-4 offsuit. Lucky for us, we end up holding and end up collecting the pot. On the gun says that it was a good fold after a while, saying that he had folded ace king. So too bad, missed out on some value there. Had he had shoved or anything like that, still would have had called. Would have doubled up pretty good, but as played, he ended up folding. So still end up breaking chips in this pot. I get moved to a new table, but before I go, I just want to shout out to Roy the dealer. Thank you for always giving me good cards, and no thanks for giving me bad beats as well. So in this hand, we are 8-handed. The blinds are 600, 1200 with the big blind 1200 ante. Folds around to the cutoff, who raises it to 2700. Small blind calls. It's not much more to me, and I have somewhat of a hand that could flop okay. So I'll go ahead and let the call. And nothing really eventful happens this hand. Eventually everybody checks down, and there's a 4-card spade flush, and we flip over, and I win with a 7-high flush. I'm in the small blind. We're still talking about the last hand that just happened with the 6-7 offsuit, and it turns out that the guy to my right had a full house. He had flop trip 4s and ended up rivering a full house, but what happened was that he did not show his hand. Once everybody checked, I flipped over my hand and announced flush. Everybody just folded their hand face down. But he starts talking about his hand, about how he would have won, and normally he does show him, but in this case he didn't. But either way, I'm in a small blind and look down at pocket aces. What a glorious sight to still be stacking your chips up and then get a monster hand like this. So it folds around to the hijack, who limps in. I folds around to me, and I elect to pop it. I pop it up to 5,000 at this time. I don't normally play playing hands out of position regardless what they are. Folds back down to around to the hijack, who elects to make the call. The flop is Queen 9-2 Rainbow. I still lead out for 6,000. The hijack kind of tanked for a little bit, and he's saying that, you know, he asked a question, did I hit that? And I don't respond. Usually when people ask me questions, I don't respond regardless. Just something I know some people are very good at picking up tells and everything, so I just elect to stay quiet. Every once in a while, I'll just look down at the board just to, you know, not give him any information. But he shoves all in on top of me, not believing me, so I snap call.
That wasn't a very happy call. I got aces.
And sure enough, he has ace-2 offsuit. And we're out to the races, and we end up holding for the rest of the hand. So it's a quick, nice little double up, and at this point, I'm at 43,800 for the break. Look at like 65 minutes. It was a 15-minute break, but last hand kind of played out. Doing okay. Yeah, so it's just one big mistake, just one dumb mistake that I had, and it wasn't a good play. But other than that, was pretty good. So what's up? There you go, man. There you go. The login, dude. Yeah. And where was I? So on the break, I am sitting on 43,800. So see how it goes. Let's go. All right, so back from break, and the blinds at this time are 1,000, 2,000 with a 2,000 big blind ante. I'm in early position, and I look down at pocket sixes. I raise to 7,500. I'm in early position, so I'm usually gonna always go first if somebody does decide to call and we take it to the streets. So I decided to go ahead and bump it up just a little bit. It's to 7,500. Folds around to the small blind, who's a short stack at this time, and he just elects to shove all in. After a little bit of discussion, exactly what his stack size is, comes out to 21-1, I believe. Getting about 3-1 on the call, and what I think to be his shoving range, which would be, you know, mostly any pairs, any suited broadways, any off-suited broadways, any ace 10 plus, anything like that. I think my sixes are gonna hold up against him. If not, it's just gonna be a flip like usual. So I'll go ahead and make the call. And it's a good call. He flips over ace jack offsuit, and we end up holding after a while. So it was a good call for me. And yeah, so we ended up getting a good hand there. All right, we're in the next level, and we are 8-handed at this time. The blinds are 1,200, 2,500 with a 2,500 big blind ante. I am in early position. I look down on ace 9 offsuit. I go ahead and raise it up here. People have been playing a little passive and everything, so I just go ahead and raise it up. The guy in number 3 seat shows all in for 40K. Now there's some history between me and this player. I picked off 2 or 3 of his bluffs that he's trying to run, where he's missed a straight draw, flush draw, and I've had a pair. So he's been playing a little tilted. So when I raise, he shows all in. I'm thinking he's making a move. I'm trying to think of what he's done. He's shoved with 2-4 offsuit and a couple other hands like that. And so I go ahead and make the call. Even though it's 40-something thousand, I go ahead and make the call. The bad news is he flips over ace king. So we're off to the races, and we were never ahead, so we never end up getting there. So we lose a big pot there. It's one of those mistakes that I've been trying to avoid, one of those mistakes, the dumb mistakes I've been trying to not make and really think these through. I should have folded, but looking at the player, look who he is and everything, I just thought it was a good call, but apparently not. And we lost about 45K in that hand. So it is what it is, and we're trying to move on to the next one, but those are just those dumb mistakes. Yeah, so just wanted to show some all-ins that happened back-to-back. Right after the break, people were just shoving in left and right and dropping like flies.
Got a little more. Ah, come on.
You want to chop it right now? Never mind, we're going to chop it. Your hand.
Wow.
All right, so made it second break.
That's how you figure it out.
That was rough. I went all the way up to 100 and something K, and just bad. Just end up raising, folding, somebody shoving on top. So it wasn't too good. Sitting on 18K. But I think it's like 20, almost about 29 people left with 16 gets in the seats. So let's see how it goes. Let's run it back up again.
Oh, forget.
Falling.
Well, can't even call. Damn.
Ah. mode.
Okay, right there.
I might as well. At this point, I'm gambling, so.
What are you gonna do with 13 heads? I was thinking, I'm like,
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
I'm thinking that Gimme had like Jack deuce off.
Nah. All right, we double up there.
The window.
I'm tripping.
Straight up the trap house.
The window.
Sweat. Gets it off.
He's got you. Got you by a little bit.
Alright, so with that being said, should have about 26, 27.
Some offers, but I'm like kind of like.
Alright, so a level later, the blinds are 3,000, 6,000 with a 6,000 big blind ante. We are down to almost about 28 players. They're guaranteeing 16 seats for the satellite. And a couple of new players come to the table. We are 10-handed at this time. And these two guys to my right are real lively, real good. They're actually new subscribers to the channel. Thank y'all very much for subscribing. And we're having fun with it. They're asking questions about the YouTube and the whole vlogging thing. And by chance, I'm in the small blind and I look down at Pocket Kings. So it falls around to the button who puts a big bet out there, almost about 40-50K. And of course, I'm not going nowhere. I'm shoving all in. If he has aces, then so be it. If he has ace king, we're flipping. If he has worse, then so be it. But I'm not going anywhere. I shove 49K and it falls around to him, and he basically put enough chips to put me in already on the flop. So we're off to the streets and we're up against pocket eights. So it's just a race and we end up holding out. The good thing about this is that these guys are kind of having fun and with me about, you know, losing the hand and how everybody wants to see carnage and me lose and stuff, which is fine. But like I said, it's like they already see enough of those, so it's good to just win a big pot like that. And these guys are having a good time with me. So shout outs to these two guys, and thanks for subscribing.
Well, I mean, they already have a lot of vlogs like that. It's all right. They already have a lot of vlogs like that. We are moving.
Alright, fam. So we busted. Bubble Boy busted. Never a good feeling. So yeah, played well, played solidly. Sometimes most of the time, maybe one or two hands that really cost me, but it is what it is. Something happened on the table that kind of made me think. So we're 17 left, top 16 gets seat. So we are on the bubble. We're 8 and 9, so we're 9-handed. The short stack next to me shows all in. Now he has 43K. At this time I have 45K. I mean, yeah, no, I have 35K. He shows all in. I have 9-7 of clubs. I fold. The guy next to me, now however, the guy next to me reshoves. Now he's not a short stack. He reshoves for 400K. 400K. And everybody kind of looks and kind of is like, what's going on with him and this and that. You know, obviously he folds everybody else out. Now, even if he had aces, now this is what made me think. Let me put this question to y'all, fam. Even if he had aces or kings, why would you shove on top of that when it comes to busting out a bubble boy to guarantee a seat? You know, there was a couple people that could have called him, you know, kind of couldn't, whatever it case to be. You know, to me, in a satellite tournament, there's really no benefit to folding everybody else out. You're trying to get the person out to guarantee a seat. You know, when you're playing regular tournament, and ICM does play more heavy into or less into a tournament, then I can see just fine an all-in on top. But when it's a bubble boy and he doesn't have much, you know, we had pretty good stacks at the table. We had 100, 200, 300K, something like that. Somebody easily could have called him. As is, everybody folds. The short stack flips over ace jack of hearts. The one who called for 400K, shoved for 400K, flips over ace jack of spades. So, folding everybody else out, the board runs out 4 clubs on the board, and, you know, 1 spade, I'm guessing. But why would you fold out somebody who could potentially have a club and end up winning the hand? You know, it's not like you're gonna chip up and continue building your chip stack afterwards to continue on, make the final table, and then having a monster stack at the final table. There is no final table. You know, it's top 16, that's it. But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think. Was that a good play to shove on top of a short stack with, you know, it being the bubble, with it coming out like that? You know, like I said, after he bubbles, that's it. The chips don't matter. You're not going to chip up. Doesn't matter how much you finish with, as long as you get into that stack. You know, so I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, and you know, as played, I end up bubbling and end up being the bubble boy. Damn, man, I played well too. Just played well. Just maybe 1-2 spots cost me chips to where I could outlast, but that was the thing. It was just one of those things that it's just like, man, I wish he wouldn't have done that. It is what it is. All right, fam. Ain't nothing to do but just keep on studying, keep on grinding. See you later.